Hey folks, how you doing? Well, I got a surprise today. I'm reviewing a beer. Well, not from South Carolina, not from North Carolina, not from the Southeast region, not even from the United States. It's a beer that comes from overseas, and I think you're going to like it. But right now, I'm going to keep it a mystery. So, stay tuned. We'll review this mystery beer coming up on Well, we're back, folks, and I've got my mystery beer. Again, it's not a beer from the Carolinas, the Southeast, or even the United States. This is going to be a beer from somewhere else in the world. Now, it's a really great beer. You probably heard of it. Maybe you've had one before. They do sell them here in America, sell them all over the place. It is from the Netherlands. And it's a fantastic Pilsner beer. How about that? You probably heard of Pilsner beers. I may have said something about Pilsners before, but Pilsners are on the lighter end of I guess you would say the further end of the lager spectrum. Lagers being those that have been brewed in a certain fashion with certain yeast, and they're very light, very clean, very well done. In fact, of course, lager means to lagern or to store. This is no exception. Again, this is a fantastic beer from the Netherlands. So, as you can see here, I have my frosty, not frozen glass here. Okay. I didn't have a Pilsner glass, so the only thing I had is my Stange. Stange. I put it in the refrigerator, and now it's nice and I guess frosted, if you would. It's got a lot of condensation on it as well. This beer right here was stored in the bottom of my refrigerator. Okay, so it's nice and cold. Now, what is our beer? Well, we're going to find out. Again, you've probably heard of it before. You may have had one. That's fantastic. Let's find out what it is. And it is a Grolsch. How about that? Let me turn it around there. How about that? It's a Grolsch. It comes from the Netherlands. Pilsner again, yes. And you've heard it before. You've seen them. You've seen them on the shelves. You may have had one. The cool thing about this one's got that flip top or swing top lid that makes it exceptionally special. It keeps in the carbonation incredibly well, and it kind of looks pretty. I mean, if you think about it, it's very unique. It's not something you'll find here in America. You don't have the screw-off lids or the regular crown caps as you would with a good craft beer. And again, the capping of these beers, the sealing of these beers doesn't mean that the quality is good or bad. Look, I drink things that are craft beers out of the can. The first one I did was a One Claw from Westbrook. Naturally, that came out of the can. Steel Hands, Southern Growl, these are great beers. And they just come out of the can for that matter. Doesn't really matter, but this just kind of makes it special, don't you think? Now, I was in a beer emporium the other day, and I saw this on the shelf, and I said, you know what? I have not had one of these in years. Okay, so I went through the checkout, and I sat here. I had 4 of these, and I drank 2 of them, and I'm like, you know what? I want to review this beer. And again, we've probably had these before, but if you've never had one, we're going to find out, yes, what makes this beer tick. Now, before my nice frosted glass here decides it wants to go clear, I'm going to go ahead and review the beer. Now, I've got to make sure that you can hear this pop when this comes off. So I'm going to, little band right there. I'm going to break that seal. I'm going to flip this up. Oh, hopefully you heard that. That was a little like that for the carbonation to escape. It's almost like a champagne bottle. I'll make sure you can hear it. Sometimes my audio kind of drowns those out. Let's go ahead and flip that lid over there. How about that? Look at that. Isn't that kind of neat? Now, these used to be made out of ceramic. I don't know what they're made out of now. They may still be made out of ceramic. I'm not sure, but it doesn't sound like it. Sometimes they were made out of plastic. I've seen versions that did look like they were made out of plastic. It's kind of disappointing. But it is a Pilsner. We're going to expect a lot of good things out of this. Again, I've had them. Okay, so I know what they taste like. We're going to see that it's clear. We're going to judge it, again, by the 5 categories: the aroma, the appearance, the taste, the mouthfeel, and, of course, the overall impression. I probably don't have to say how good the overall impression is going to be, but let's go ahead and get into this. Now, I'm going to tilt this so that it pours from the side, and then about halfway through, I'm going to let it effervesce all the way up, because it is going to effervesce quite a bit. A lot of carbonation in it. Pouring it, and I can let it go a little bit. And then from here, I'm going to pour it and let it get a little bit more glass proud. Now, the reason why you drink out of a Pilsner glass is to showcase the beer. And this is no exception. Pardon me there. I move that over to the side here so you can get a little bit better look from the side light that I've got going on here. Pull that off. Put that there. Now, as you would expect, a Pilsner, and I'm going to see if I can get something white so that you can see behind it. As you can see, it's incredibly clear. It's actually very light in color. I would say that it's an SRM of probably 1 to 2, maybe 3. I'm going to say 1 to 2, maybe 3. Kind of like our Narragansett that we looked at a couple of months ago. And it's got plenty of carbonation. As you can see, it had a great amount of head to it. I'm going to finish pouring the bottle in here in just a few minutes because it did have a lot of carbonation. I completely expected that. I wanted that, actually, to be quite honest. And since I didn't have a proper Pilsner glass, I used a stained glass here to showcase exactly what a Pilsner glass would showcase, which of course would be the color, the clarity, and the bubbles, the head, nice white, I mean paper white head. It's lovely. Nice fine bubbles. Now, something else that you're going to see that I've said many, 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 many times here is that there's Brussels lace. As you can see, it should be forming. It's going to drown it out there, but it should be forming right around the top. Let's use the back of that. If you can see the Brussels lace forming right around here, again, that's not a measure of the quality of a beer. What it is going to say that there are ingredients and there are characteristics in this beer that lend itself to holding on to that head and producing that lacy effect going up and down the side of the bottle. Let's see if I can pour some more in there. Get a little bit more glass proud. I wanted something that would hold the full quantity of this, and I believe this is going to come in at about 400 and some odd. It should be printed on the bottle. By the way, this is pretty much a completely green glass bottle. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I can put this, again, paper up there. A green glass bottle. And that's not bad. Again, that's not a measure of a good beer or not, but there are some that get transported in green, some in white, some in brown, just some in actually opaque glass, in bottles. I'll find out a little bit more about the specs here, so I'm not worried about that. Again, I want to put my little lid back on. That is so cool. Not only that, if you ever wanted to reseal this, you could. You could drink half of it, come in, pop it. There you go. You can actually put something else in this too. These are very good to keep around. I've got a number of these from different breweries that I've got stuff in. Anyway, I want to set that aside. I'm going to go ahead. First, let's smell it. Now, I don't really want to smell it out of here because you really can't smell too much. And as you can see, the head is still stayed there. An amazing malt flavor. These Dutch here know how to make a beer. I mean, Central Europe. They perfected the art of beer. Malty. It's got some hops to it. It is going to have a little bit of hops. It's not like you would a Czech Pilsner or from, Bohemia of something like that. It's not going to have that nice spicy flavor to it. You're not going to hit that note of pepper and herb and spice like that, but you're definitely going to smell a little bit of hops in here. You are going to smell the malt. Okay, and this is what this is for. Again, it's an SRM at about 1 or 2. And it's the water. I know it is. It's got to be the inclusion of what they use for the water that makes it taste the way it does. Now, again, we have our appearance. We knew that we had a good amount of head. I'm not going to belay that again. A nice, good color, very clear. I mean, this is gin clear right here, I tell you. It's effervescing. The nice, good, big bubbles in it, too. And this is a clean glass. By the way, if you ever get into drinking beer out of a glass and really want to impress somebody, wash your glasses first. Make sure they're clean. Sometimes you'll go to a beer venue. They'll rinse them out. There's a little device here that shoots water up in there, cleans them out. And what that does is that prevents a lot of the particles that get on the glass naturally from creating a lot of disturbance in the beer. So you get a nice, even effervescence. That's what I'm getting here today. I know you can't see it, but the bubbles are just amazing. They're coming up from all directions. Now, talk about the flavor. That's the most important thing about a beer to me anyway, is the flavor. You can enjoy the look, you can enjoy the smell, but the flavor, that's the one. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. This is this is Grolsch. This is absolutely fantastic, well brewed, Central European beer. It's Pilsner. It's Pilsner at its finest. Okay? It's got a great malty flavor, almost a caramelly flavor. I don't taste any weird off taste. You didn't expect to. Lovely malt. I do taste hops. I'm going to taste hops based on the fact that, yes, this is what this calls for. And it's probably going to have those 4 noble hops that I mentioned last time. I'm not going to go over them. I will try to find what hops are brewed with Grolsch, if there's any special hops that they have, but they got to have them from Central Europe. I mean, it's where they live. The climate and the temperature there is excellent for growing hops. Fields of these things. In case you didn't know, hops is a vine. I can't remember what it's related to, but it is related to a certain type of flower, a certain type of botanical. But this is going to be very hoppy. You're going to love it. Yes, absolutely. Malt, a little bit sweet, but we'll get to that in a minute. So now let's talk about the mouthfeel. Okay. And as you can see, by the way, I have a good amount of Brussels lace going around the edge here. You can't miss it. I mean, you got to love that. So the mouthfeel is very, very, very nice. I'm going to say it's if it was a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being incredibly dry, 10 being I might as well just be sucking on a candy of sorts. I would say that this comes in at about a 1.5. It is a little sweeter than I would think for a Pilsner, but still a great mouthfeel on this. Not cloying. It's going to be very dry. It's going to be very refreshing. I won't say dry, but it's very refreshing. So the mouthfeel on this is great. I still have a good amount of effervescence. I got a little burp coming up here too, coming up shortly. So you are going to feel it later on in your drinking experience. Overall impression. I mean, listen, if you're going to drink a good beer, drink this beer. I mean, come on. Drink this beer. It is fantastic. fantastic. Overall impression, it doesn't miss a mark in the world. It ticks all the boxes. It's what you want. It's beautiful. To me, it gives you that experience of the Brussels lace. It's got a wonderful color. It is absolutely clear. It's got a malty flavor to it, along with a good hop balance. And it's not overly hop forward. It's not overly malt forward either. It comes in this cool bottle. I mean, come on. That's just excellent. But yeah, impression. I mean, this is a classic. That's why I brought it in today, because I thought it was going to be something that each and every one of you would enjoy seeing yet again. And there have been a lot of reviews on Grolsch, and, okay, so this is one more. But guess what? This is my take on it. Anyhow, got my little coaster here because, yes, I did spill a little bit. And I knew it was going to be with a frosty glass. It was going to come down the side there. Anyway, I'll have the beer specs coming up in just a few minutes, and probably a little bit of history on the Pilsner style. So other than that, stay tuned. We have the beer specs next.
Grolsch Premium Pilsner. The Grolsch Brewery was founded in 1615 in Grenlo, Netherlands, and is best known for its 5% ABV pale lager, Grolsch Premium Pilsner. It was first operated by Willem Neervelt. As of February 2006, Grolsch was the second largest brewer in the Netherlands, after Heineken, with annual production of 320 million liters. The domestic market comprises 51% of total production. Grolsch is the 21st largest producer of beer in the world and is available in 70 countries and focuses primarily on the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Grolsch produces a range of mainly pale lagers from alcohol-free to 11.6 ABV. They use a distinctively shaped bottle for some of its products, known as De Bugle or Swing Top, or Flip Top in America. Hops, a combination of 2 Hallertauer hops, Emerald and Magnum. Color, 3 SRM. Bitterness, 30 IBU. Serving size, 450 milliliter, or 15.2 ounce. Alcohol, 5% by volume.
Okay, folks, listen, I appreciate you staying with us. And that review, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something in the beer specs about Pilsner beer. And again, we've reviewed our Grolsch Pilsner from the Grolsch Brewery. I can't even pronounce this name of this brewery. I'll have it in the beer specs, of course, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure bringing this to you. Again, I saw it at a local grocery store that I usually go to. And I was like, I just needed something like that. I haven't had one in a long time, and there you go. I thought, maybe I can review this beer. Now, that being said, remember, I'm going to talk about the beer review logbook. If you haven't gotten it yet, do. $8.99, Amazon, can't beat it. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina, or really anywhere, because I've seen this in a lot of different places. This is the Upstate Ale Trail. Again, I think I've seen one for Asheville. I could see one from Raleigh, I think. But see if you can find one of these at your local beer venue. It gives you a lot of good information about the local breweries. And once more, if you can find it, okay, get it. Total Wine, Total Guide to Beer. You're going to be able to find it there. They're free. Okay, this was rather old, so I'm going to see if I can find a new one. Maybe online. If not, email them. Ask them if they have one. They should be able to send you one. And, of course, as we know, we do review our beers using the Beer Judge Certification Guidelines. This is the score sheet. The best thing about this, it gives you the categories, but it also gives you the off flavors, and it gives you the categories in which to judge your beer by. Do definitely download or see those in the descriptions. Again, thank you here Now, what I'm going to say is remember, subscribe, get the notification bell so that you know when the new episodes come out. Hit the like button. Let us know that you like the channel. And leave your comments down below in the comments. Let us know what we can do for you next. If there's a beer you want us to review, if there's something special you want us to find, if we can find it, we will. And but it definitely helps us grow the channel. Okay? And until then, I definitely want to say, right? Slancha, Prost, Kanpai, Chin Chin, Salud. And of course, from America and the Netherlands, cheers. Peace, love, and beer.